All right, good morning, guys. Today is the 30th of December, Saturday. 27 days on the juicing. So I just want to give a little update. It's been a couple weeks, actually, I think, since my last update. I think the last update we did, I'm pretty sure I did one on this channel. If not, it's on Brandon Swink's channel. If you guys haven't checked out his channel yet, you can go over to Brandon Swink. We've updated a couple videos over there. That are definitely worth checking out. Probably answer a lot of questions for people. What healing is, I think, was the last one we just did. But we also did one on religion and religious people. So my update, let's see. It has been extremely rough. So, I went into this juicing already prepared. I was raw for 6 months, raw diet for 6 months, 80% fruit, prior to starting juicing. And so, I'm sure that helped loosen and I guess prepare my body so that way the juicing wasn't such a shock. So my bowel movements have not been, they've slowly declined. And with the declination of the bowel movements, I have been getting detox symptoms, heavy detox symptoms. I had that I was waking up with that headache every morning. That went away last week sometime. And since I've been dealing with emotions, mood swings, tiredness, lethargy, I guess you could say, brain fog. And things of that nature, all detox symptoms. And what I'm finding, it's directly related to my bowel movements. As long as when my bowels were moving fine, the detox symptoms really weren't there because I was moving everything out. But with the juice breaking everything up, being negatively charged and pulling all that positively charged muck out of my system and stirring it up, it's sitting in there. So I have been, well, not have been, but just yesterday had researched and looked into how to massage my colon to help things move. So no update on that yet. I didn't have any bowel movements yesterday. So, I'm looking forward to hopefully getting whatever's sitting in me that's loose today out. Still not completely solid bowel movements. Yeah, you can see the brain fog. It's just, I haven't done any videos because it's just, extremely difficult to operate when you feel like this. But as far as emotions and things like that go, intense cravings for things I've known, whether that be people, food, just anything. The way I used to live, the way I used to behave, just again, that love for, that desire for nostalgia. But I've been, I just sit with everything. I don't let anything just go by me. I sit with it. I process it. I don't let a desire or a craving or a want or a feeling of lack go by without processing it through and going, okay, come on, you know, you don't want that. So, I mean, I'm all in on this. You know, this is not a, you know, oh, let's see what this does. You know, this has been a long journey for me, and this is where I'm at now. And, you know, I just, once I start something, I'm not going to stop it, especially this life changing and important. Because this is exactly where I've been trying to get to. Man, it really, you know, because also it brings the anxiety, the depression, you know, nothing unbearable, because I'm able to process in my mind what's going on. I know what's happening. But it is very, very difficult. Not for the faint of heart. You really have to be dedicated. So it's been about a solid week that I've had severe detox symptoms. I'd say at least a week, 7, 8, maybe. It might have started about 9 days ago. Those detox symptoms coming on, and yeah, just been dealing with that, but getting through. So massaging the colon, and you know, I've been getting out for hikes about every other day. I go out for a hike. So you know, that definitely helps. The hiking, I believe, movement. I was talking to Brandon the other day. He's doing great, having solid bowel movements, feeling like $1,000,000. And, you know, with his job, he's constantly, I haven't worked since I started this juice fast. So, you know, my movement is very limited. Which I'm sure has a lot to do with my bowel movements and my detox symptoms. I'm sure if I was moving and sweating and getting this stuff worked out of me, you know, I wouldn't be going through such severe detox at the moment. So, you know, again, it all rests on me. It's just, I got to, you know, we all have our own ways of going about this. This is how I'm going about it. I just want people to know that you will go through severe detox, and being sedentary is not something you want to do on this juicing, as your body, you know, needs help working this stuff out. So, you know, if you are going to have a more sedentary lifestyle while juicing, I suggest, you know, figuring out how to massage your colon. And if you need me to, I can do a video on that, for whoever is interested. If you can't find any information, I found mine from John Rose. So I did do a video last week, about a week or so ago. I've been having crazy dreams. My dreams are vivid and long and very detailed and very, you know, encompassing, and pulls me in. So I did a video on one of my dreams last week on my other channel, Embodied Souls. And so the thing about these dreams is I'm just observing. I'm observing everything and taking it in and processing it and seeing where these things come from. Because, again, you know, when I started this healing, I had a yoga teacher. I'd learned how to do yoga, all these things. I was doing breathing techniques. I was doing meditations. And I felt the power of these modalities, and I felt the white so-called source that would when I was doing my meditation, that would fill me up and the light, And what I found was that no matter what, I was severely abused as a child and cried out and for years to be, rescued from my abuse, to be saved, to be helped. And no help came from anywhere, from any source, any light, anything, any Jesus. I cried out to God and begged him to just either take my life or get me out of my situation. There's no God, there's no Jesus. It's all horseshit. It's all fantasy thinking. It's all bullshit. So, it got me thinking because yoga was really straightening. I could feel it straightening out my spine, but it felt like I was giving credence to another power, to another authority. With the meditation, I was calling in a source for that bright light to come in and fill me full of this powerful light. Breathing techniques the same way, and so many modalities are the same way, where when you go through these blissful experiences of that modality, it's almost like that is coming from another source. And what I recognized was, because I kept on going back to, nothing was there to save me when I cried out for years and years and years as a severely abused child. Nothing was there to save me. Nothing was there to help me. Nothing was there to give me any kind of hope. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was me. The only thing that ever transpired was when I levitated, when I told that story of my levitation, over the course of, several months. I levitated, several times, in this one spot in the exterior of my house. We grew up on a mountain in the middle of nowhere in a cabin, and I don't know where that came from. I would have to guess that just came from being in so much at the end of my rope, just digging deep and knowing I had these powers to make it through, and I proved it to myself. That's the only thing I can think. So anyways, going back to these things, it was all, I remember my yoga teacher said, before you get off the mat, you do this fucking stupid ass thing where you thank the whatever spirits or whatever, the yoga gods. And I was just thinking, and, as I was doing these modalities, it didn't scare me. All these things didn't scare me. The power of the yoga and the power of this meditation and everything, it didn't scare me. It just made me think. And it made me think, why weren't these things there when as an innocent young child? And it just made me go back to the fact that everything wants our attention. Everything will, everything's going to give us this little bit in order for us to give it our attention. So I quit doing everything. I quit doing, and I had spinal injuries and everything. This was just last year. And I quit doing everything, all the meditation, that deep kind of meditation that I was doing, the breathing exercises. I quit doing all of that. The yoga, I quit it all because I'm trying to get to the foundation of our enslavement. And the foundation of our enslavement comes from us giving our attention and our worship and our authority over to these other things, whether they're invisible or tangible and right in front of us. And it was hard because, those things were really helping me. I was in tons of pain in my spine and my neck. And, the yoga was really helping me. The meditation was really helping bring my mind off of, the pain and all of these different things. But, where were these things as a young child? And the only thing that made sense to me was I wasn't taught. Again, this is all going back to our enslavement as babies and as children, and being enslaved to things. And these things that we're enslaved to and forced to give our authority over to demand our attention and our worship of them in order to give us our little pittance, our little crumbs, breadcrumbs from their table, right? And I'm just like, man, there's no way, because see, my epiphany, my main thing here that I'm trying to get across to my kids is that we are all powerful. We have it all. We need nothing outside of ourselves. That's what my whole journey is about, is to prove that we need nothing outside of ourselves. We have it all. We are completely capable and able of all healing, we are all powerful. We are all knowledgeable, the whole 9 yards, everything. We need nothing outside of ourselves. So, I gave those things up, and man, sure enough, I went through the first 4 to 6 weeks were really difficult. I had a lot of pain coming back. It felt like I was being chastised for for taking my authority back and stopping these modalities. But I ended up finding different things. I was doing light stretching. I was just doing, not positive thinking, but positive mentality with the belief in myself, knowing that I can do it. I have this. I know I got this. I know what I'm capable of. I know I'm strong enough. I know I have the power within me. I know. So, I led with that, with I know how powerful I am. And sure enough, man, I mean, here I am today, and without any of those modalities and crutches. And I didn't have to give my authority. I didn't have to sell my soul. I didn't have to sell myself. I didn't have to fucking worship and do hours and hours of all this horse shit in order to attain these things, guys. That is my main point, is that we have everything we need. Because if you think that you have to have, that yoga's the answer, if you think that all of these other things are the answer that you have to be taught how to do, then what you're saying is everybody who doesn't have access to these modalities, everybody else who doesn't have access to this knowledge that you have knowledge of, doesn't have a prayer. Because they don't know, they'll never learn yoga because they were never taught by a yoga instructor. They'll never know how to do meditation because they were never taught by a meditating instructor. They'll never know how to do breathing techniques because they were never taught how to breathe properly. It's all horseshit. You just have to, this is a mind game. It's 100% a mind game. And what has happened is that through our abusive programming at birth and onwards, all of these exterior authorities have stripped us of our authenticity and our individuality and our birthright, the fact that we're all powerful, all knowledgeable, completely empathetic. We can communicate telepathically, all of these different things that we were naturally endowed with, our innate sense of being stripped of us and a false man put in that place. And that's what my whole journey is breaking that false man and reclaiming that wholeness. So, it was very important to me. And I'm mentioning that because I'm just leading up to. So last week on the other channel, Embodied Souls, I put up a video of this dream I had. And, I went back and watched this video. I don't watch all my videos. I watch them here and there. But I went back and watched this video, and God, it was a rambling mess. Again, this was after I had already gone into these heavy detox symptoms. So if you watch that video, I ramble and I jump from here to there, and yeah, so you can definitely see where the brain fog was already coming into play, and I was having a hard time thinking and putting things together. And but anyways, I just want to, I had 3 different people who follow this channel, who subscribe to this channel, that I wanted to read their comments because they left me some great comments. But I wanted to read it to y'all so that way you guys can see some of the, if you are dealing with these dreams and, there's RF, ELF signals in our homes that inundate us 24/7. Again, your home is considered a kill box by those in the know. But I just want to read some of these comments because they were very encouraging to know that people took the time to send these comments. So Heather Bliss 72 says, yes, you are a powerful battery pack and the machine is confused at what you are doing. And this is because, see, my dreams keep on trying to suck me into the old man that I used to be. They keep on trying to get me back into my ego. My dreams are pulling me and trying to get me involved doing things that I no longer do in this 3D illusion that we're in, that I no longer participate in. My dreams are trying to pull me in, entice me and tease me and tempt me into doing these things. And then what it also is doing is it's wearing me out. So when I wake up, I'm just completely exhausted and worn out. So Heather Bliss says, yes, you are a powerful battery pack and the machine is confused at what you are doing. Errants like us get tossed out after a bit when it takes more energy to keep us than the energy being harvested off us. Spits us out when we break pattern. Congratulations. My son and I call it bubble up when we put our own energetic protection on. You may want to try that. Holidays are especially siphoning. We simply create a sovereign bubble around us. And this is a great thing to do. Great information and insight from Heather. I like to picture it as a diamond white light. Be sure to surround under and behind, especially before sleep in public places. You can enlarge the bubble, encompass your home, then further. Gets frustrating to have to continue to do, but we find it works. Try it, and I 100% think that works. Personally, I think it works from just the power of the mind and just you creating that space for yourself. And then, trusting in yourself that you have that power to create that bubble and that bubble is real and that, nothing's going to penetrate that. So yes, I 100% think that is right on. Then she says, try a shungite necklace at heart level for the signals or any black stone that speaks to you. Can help a bunch. Yes, and getting out in nature. Leaning up against a tree. I do that when I go hiking. I'll lean up against a tree. I'll put my hands on a tree and just stand there for a minute. Thank you for being on the journey together. You are breaking free. Glad you are here. So the shungite necklace, that's a great modality or thing to have probably. But, I'm coming back to I have all the power. I have all the power. I don't need crystals or necklaces or stones. Now, these things are great. Will I, possibly rely on them one day or use them one day or include them one day in my journey? I don't know. Maybe. It's always in the back of my mind, especially at my weak times. These things sit in the back of my mind and I'm just like, I should do it. But yeah, then I think of my kids and I think of these other people who don't have access to these modalities. And I'm doing it. I feel like my journey is one for the human spirit, the human collective, in that I'm not taking advantage, let's say, of, I have a couple stores. There's one within like 3-minute walking distance of my house right here. It's called Mystic Mountain, and they sell all that stuff. Really cool store. But, again, what does this take? It takes money, right? Which I'm breaking free from that. And, if you guys have been watching along, I'm breaking free from having to go out and make money to spend money. I'm getting away from that. And then again, going back to my kids, I don't, I'm trying to show my kids that you can do this. You have all the power inside, no matter what you go through, no matter how hard your detox symptoms are, no matter how hard this system comes after you through your dreams and through the RF and ELF signals and the voice of God weapons and this and that and the other thing and all these invisible things. You have that power. So the bubble, that bubble, invisible bubble thing is an awesome bit of information to get out there for people. And again, I think that works from the power of your mind, just creating that thing and trusting and believing in yourself to the point where there's no doubt in your mind that that protects you. So the Shungite necklace, for whoever's interested, if you are dealing with dreams and things of that nature, the Shungite necklace at heart level for the signals or any black stone that speaks to you, Heather says works really well. Leaning up against a tree, getting out in nature. Yeah, those things. I utilize the nature thing in leaning up against a tree. And I should probably do that bubbling up, every time I go out. And then Jen CY6WJ said, great comment. I also imagine that bubble around my animals. So, that's really cool that these people are utilizing these things. So, and then Jen said, thank you, Heather, for that comment. Much appreciated. I've been thinking about it just about every day since then, and taking that into consideration. Again, with the necklace, I can't bring myself yet to be able to purchase anything like that because, again, my journey for me is one more of solidarity with the human collective consciousness as opposed to, those of us who don't have access to those types of things, if that makes any sense. And I'm not trying to be a martyr. I'm not trying to be any holier than thou. My thing is I want to prove this to my kids and anybody else who's watching that you are able and capable of getting through anything, absolutely anything, with no kind of medical interventions, no kind of, crystals or healing modalities or any of that bullshit. Nothing outside of you is needed. It's this. This is needed. You need to reclaim the power of your mind and free yourself. Reclaim your authority. So Jen CY6WJ commented, you could try putting orgonite around your bed or wherever you are sleeping if you have any. It works best if it's a few inches off the ground, so I set mine on books at the four corners of my bed so it creates kind of a force field. Another creator I watch, Aneki from Kismet Spiral, said we have to wear this thing out like Cassius Clay, aka Muhammad Ali, did with his opponents. So, yeah, I like that. You don't give up. You're going to go all 18 rounds with this, till the very end. I mean, what else are we here for? If we're not going to take all our attention and energy and spend it on ourselves and prove to ourselves that we're worth it and we're worthy of that, of the attention, of the care, of the love, then what are we doing here? If we don't do that, then we are literally slaves. We are voluntarily giving up our authority, worshiping, giving away our attention, and idolizing something, someone, something or someone other than ourselves. And then that makes us slaves. So again, Jen says, the orgonite around your bed, all four corners, a few inches off the ground. She sets hers on books. So if you guys are dealing with dreams, that she says that works really well. Again, I'm not going to participate in that at the moment, just, for the reasons I gave a few minutes ago. But thank you, Jen. Great information again. I'm sure many people find power in that. But I do like, got to wear this thing out like Cassius Clay. Yeah, I like that. Okay, and then Huckleberry Finney 4393 says, thank you for sharing this, Richard. Your listeners suggested good tools already. I will drop one more I've heard from General Boris Ratnikov, who worked all his life on PSI team of Russian KGB and recently passed away. Somehow he didn't become corrupted like the rest of the swamp. In his late years spent sharing his knowledge with people, tips of protection and wisdom that he earned. He suggested using mirror technique, imagining and stating in his mind, between you and me there is a mirror facing you. Sort of like mythological Medusa Gordon was conquered by Perseus and turned itself into a stone because he put a mirror on his shield. That's also a great tip, very interesting. So the mirror technique is imagining and stating in your mind, between you and me, there is a mirror facing you. Interesting. I appreciate that, Huckleberry. I haven't gone back and read I've been in such a crazy state the past few days since you left this comment. I haven't gone back and read this, but I'm glad I did. Same with Heather and Jen. I mean, all these comments these are great comments. So, the mirror technique is imagining and stating in your mind, this is what you're saying, between you and me, there is a mirror facing you. Also, a very inexpensive crystal, Tektite, is the most powerful at absorbing and dissipating negative energy. It's black like volcanic rock. Black absorbs, white reflects. White coat that doctors wear is a shield too. According to Ratnikov, he didn't take any riches from them, but maybe that's how he remained pure in this filth. So white reflects, as in how the doctors wear the white lab coats. Interesting. He talked about that permeating field, advised not show it any fear and to use the common sense of self-questioning like you already do. Yeah, extremely important. So he talked about that permeating field and advised not show it any fear. Yeah, we aren't fearful. We have no reason to fear. The only reason we fear is because we've been, again, from birth, we were told that we weren't enough and that we weren't worthy and that we were nothing. And then, physically and mentally and spiritually and emotionally abused as a baby that couldn't protect itself. So, that fear was instilled into us. So, as critical thinking humans with the faculties of our mind, of intelligence, reasoning, and our will, we have nothing to fear. Nothing. And we cannot cling to this life, to this illusory physical existence. It's ridiculous. We are so much more beyond that. We are just inhabiting a physical avatar while we're here in this very, very short, finite existence on this earth. So yeah, the permeating field, do not show it any fear and use the common sense of self-questioning. Yes, so important. Constantly question every thought, every action, every word, everything, every emotion. You got to question it all. Sanity means clean and pure. Insanity, unclean, impure, unsanitary living leads to insanitary. Unsanitary living leads to insanity. Exactly. What is unsanitary living? Purposefully taking in toxins, whether that's the propaganda of the government and those who control you through your ears and your eyes, the entertainment that mocks your abuse. All entertainment mocks your abuse. All the music, all the movies, all the TV shows, all the actors, all of the sports stars, they're all mocking your abuse. So if you choose to live unsanitary, uncleanly, that's unclean. You're taking in poisons through your eyes, your ears, all the chemicals that you can put on your skin and in your hair and on your body, that's all unsanitary. All the food, all the toxic poison, that's chemical man-made poison that's been turned into so-called food, that they lie to you. 95% of the stuff at your grocery store is not food. It's toxic, heavily toxic man-made chemicals. If you've taken that in through your mouth, You're voluntarily poisoning yourself. Unsanitary living leads to insanity. All of this leads to insanity. You're feeding the demon. You're feeding the entity that you've grown inside of you from consuming all of these things that lives deep down in your gut, where you have more neurons in your gut than you have in your brain. Think about it, guys. This is all common sense. It's very simple, but you have to take it seriously. I haven't gathered the will to start deep cleansing yet, pulling out the easy things first, small leeches, holding you as an inspiration. So that's awesome, man. Some great comments there. Again, Heather Bliss talked about the bubble that we create in our mind around us to protect us. The shungite necklace at heart level for the signals, or any black stone that speaks to you, getting out of nature, leaning up against a tree. Jen mentioned the orgonite around your bed at all four corners, slightly off the ground. She put hers on books. And then again, not giving up. You're going to wear it out like Muhammad Ali. And then Huckleberry Finney talks about the mirror effect, looking in the mirror and imagining in your mind a mirror and stating, between you and me, there is a mirror facing you. And that works like Medusa was conquered by Perseus when he turned her into a stone with his shield, the mirror on his shield, if you can picture that. And then Huckleberry also mentioned the Tektite crystal, which is black like volcanic rock. It's very cheap, inexpensive crystal, and the black absorbs, white reflects, just like a doctor's lab coat. And then, of course, your living conditions, self-questioning, don't show any fear. Yeah. So thank you, Huckleberry. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Heather. Great comments. I really appreciate that. Things that might help other people. Things that I'm definitely taking into consideration. And I appreciate everybody. And again, the reason I'm doing this the way that I'm doing this is because there are powers in all of these healing modalities. All of them work. All of them work. All healing modalities work. But my whole point in my healing is to prove to myself and everybody else, first of all, my children outside myself, then everybody else, that you can get through anything, no matter what it is that you're going through, no matter what it is you're trying to accomplish. You can get through it. You can accomplish it. You are beyond the imagination powerful, and you need nothing outside yourself, and you can do this. But you just have to remember to take care of yourself, because nobody else will.